Let's get it go. Let's get her up, fellers. Probably should have checked that first. All right. Get in the middle. All right. I think we're good to go. I kind of don't like the lighting. Is the lighting too much? Let's see. Lighting. It's light. All right, perfect. Here we go. Week 14. Let's see how many people we can muster up in here. If we can get enough, we'll stay alive. If not, we'll go about our business. No big deal. Okay. Oh, boy. Week 14, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. I want to get some thoughts. Okay, so let me send out some tweets. Let's see what we can get here. I probably should have sent out a tweet earlier, but I failed. Going live. And more. Probably should have done that sooner. It's all good. Bills. Hashtag NFL. On ESPN, NFL, ESPN, NFL all day, NFL, Bets, NFL, PL, Fit, perfect. All right, it's all done. All right, tweet is out. Gonna give it about 5 more minutes, see how it rolls. There's a lot that I want to talk about once we get some people up in here, and so I'm gonna try and see what I can, see how many people we get up in here. Have a good conversation. If you guys stop in, if you're anybody stopping in and out, drop a comment. Let me know you're in here. James, thank you for hopping in, brother. What's going on? I'm going to see how many people we can muster up. I'm probably going to go until about 12:50 or so, and then I'll hop off for the games. But I wanted to get some thoughts from you guys, talk about some fantasy football. I want to try and do this every week if I can. If I can, I definitely want to hop on and, make it a weekly thing. Unfortunately, I should have started this sooner, but, whatever. Can't always keep up with everything. But nevertheless, let's just see how many people we could get up in here. I sent out a tweet, put it out on YouTube. We could probably do a little bit more. I also live streamed after the game last week, after we lost to the Patriots. And that did pretty well. I was shocked by that. So maybe I'll do something like that again, post game, if the pregame doesn't go very well. I think this whole team about to come out pissed off and ready to hurt somebody. I hope you're right. I mean, if that's not the case, then we're going to have to do a lot of soul searching, because then this team really isn't what we thought it was going to be. We need this team to – I don't expect to win this game, but I certainly, hope that we're able to come out a little bit stronger for this week's game. I'm not expecting to win by any means, but I'm certainly expecting us to come out and make a statement and not just lay down against this team. And even though it's not, the best of matchups, you should go. I wish. I wish. That would be an absolute disaster, Brandon. I don't think that would be even a good idea. But Just waiting for some people to drop in. I appreciate anybody that's stopping in. If you're stopping in and out, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know you stopped in. I appreciate it. I know a lot of people are probably busy before the game. So this is just more of a trial run to see how it would go, how many people I could get in here pregame. I want to watch the 1:00 game, so I probably won't stay on during then, but I certainly want to test this out. I tested out going live after the game last week, and that did pretty well, a lot better than I was expecting. So maybe I'll do something like that in the future if this doesn't go exactly to plan, but that's fine. Well, just testing the waters, that's all I'm going to do. If there's any thoughts you want to leave, put them down in the comment section. I want to get some conversation going. I still have to set my fantasy lineups. Does anybody still have to do that? Because I know I do. Of course, Tony Pollard's not playing this week, so that's absolutely screwing me in my ESPN League game, which I absolutely need to win. I have 3 handcuffs playing at running back this week. I have A.J. Dillon, Javonte Williams, and Sony Michel playing in my 3 running back slots. 3 handcuffs have become my top running backs for a team that I need to, or for a game that I need to get into the playoffs with, which honestly isn't bad. All 3 of those guys are, pretty damn solid for, going to a game like this, especially when Darrell Henderson's going to be down. AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones really hasn't been the same. My record for this league specifically is 5-7-1. So I need to win this game. I'm on the brink of the playoffs. I need to get in this game. I was 7-2. Now I'm 7-6. What happened? Did somebody get hurt? You must have had like a McCaffrey or somebody get hurt, because that is crazy. My team, this league, I started off 0-4, and I've worked my way back up to 5-7, which is a pretty damn good accomplishment in my opinion for a team like that. That started off pretty bad. I made a couple big trades. I made 2 humongous trades before last week. So the last 2 weeks for this league specifically have been must wins. I've had Derrick Henry got hurt. Yeah, I figured that exactly what was going to happen. So many different teams absolutely tanked after he got hurt. There are teams in every single one of the leagues I play in that have absolutely taken a hit because of Derrick Henry getting hurt. Obviously, that's the case, but I went into last week's game needing to win. I've needed to win out since I was like, I was 2 games out. I needed to win out. You have Cup too? What in God's name did you build this year? What else is your team looking like? I mean, obviously it's very possible, but holy shit, you had Henry and Cup? That's crazy. I know Brando that just stopped in. He has Jonathan Taylor and Cooper Kupp. He's got a really good team in the league I'm in with him. So you must be, I mean, if you have Kupp still, you're still doing pretty damn good. I had to win the last 2 weeks, and I won last week. But before last week's game, I traded away Cordero Patterson 1-for-1 for Chris Godwin. That worked out perfectly. Thank God I did that, because Chris Godwin was like 15 for 140. So that absolutely was huge. And I also traded Saquon Barkley for Javonte Williams and Pat Freiermuth. That also worked out brilliantly. So those 2 trades absolutely saved me, because last week, of course, I was going against the number 1 team too. So it was a must-win game against the team that was putting up the most points in the league by a mile. And I needed to win. And I made those 2 trades, and I would have lost without them. Allen, Patterson, Hunt, Mike Williams, Bass, Bills, D, Waller, and Waller, who got hurt. Waller started off monstrous. He had like a first amazing couple weeks, and then all of a sudden he just stopped. Like, I don't know what happens. Like, the fact that Darren Waller has been almost not even a focal point for this offense. It's almost become a Hunter Renfrow show. It really has, the Hunter Renfrow show over there in Las Vegas. But thank God that Devontae Adams. Not Devontae Adams. Thank God Chris Godwin has, done what he's had to do for me about this week, because him, Chris Godwin, and Javonte Williams, those are the 3 guys I needed last week to go crazy, and they did. So let's talk about the game let's go into the Bills game, because why not? Bills versus Bucs. I'm not sure if anybody, I don't know what people's expectations for this game is. Like, I don't think we're going to win this game. I personally don't think we're going to come out on top here. And that's fine. I just hope that we don't come out and lay an absolute egg. I want us to put up a fight against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If we come out, we lose by a touchdown, we lose by 3 points, lose by 4 points, something along those lines, then I'll be happy. As long as it's a hard-fought matchup, and we don't go out there and completely lay an egg, then I'll be fine. But in the case that, we go out, we do lay an egg, that's when I'll really, I think we've all gotten to the point of panic with this team to a certain extent, but that doesn't mean it's over. Of course, we still have 5 weeks of football. Um, and, but still, we need to show some fight in this game, despite the fact that, some of us, I think it's a close game too. And, if it's not a close game, then you got to wonder what this week of preparation has looked like, where the mindset of this team is. If we don't come out and make this game close, then I think we do have a concern because, the Bucs are good. Their strengths beat our weaknesses, I would say. But I guess it doesn't matter. You still got to go out. You got to fight. Lucas, I just noticed. Are you able to comment with this? Is this a new YouTube account? Are you able to comment with this account? Because I don't know if the comment issue you had applied to live streams too, but I think that's a different account. It looks like. So I wonder if you're able to comment on regular videos with that account now. Oh my gosh, I'm tired. I played. What's up, Justin? Nice to see you in here, brother. Yeah, Lucas, you did make a new account. I figured that. I played football this morning from like 10 to 11:45, and I'm still tired from it. Like my mind is still like frozen cold. It was like a tundra out there. Space Bish says, "Do we have to score 30 plus to beat the Bucs?" I'm gonna say it would definitely obviously increase our chances, but I think our defense is going to play a little bit better this week than we're expecting it to. I don't think our defense is going to get completely steamrolled like it did against the Colts per se, or maybe even against the Patriots. I think our defense holds their own. So I don't think we'll have to put up 30 plus to win, but it certainly would obviously help. I mean, this game is on the offense at the end of the day, just like it's been, week after week. Each game has been on the offense, and whether or not they come out and perform to the best of their abilities, that's when we're going to win a game, is when the offense holds their weight. And that's the important thing. Blake, what's up, Blake? I hope we don't get ran all over again. Me too. I mean, clock management, the biggest thing about last week for me was, we did hold the Patriots to 14 points, sure, but they had 200 yards and, 5 or 6 minutes of time of possession advantage on us. And in a game like that, the defense's job not only is to, obviously keep the Patriots or the opposing team off the board, but to give your offense as many opportunities to score as you can. And, I completely agree with the fact that we gave our offense enough chances to win, but at the end of the day, we should have had the ball more than the Patriots, knowing each and every down what they were going to do, each and every down that Mac Jones was not going to drop back to pass. We should have been able to get them off the field sooner than we did a lot of the time. But we were not able to. We struggled to get off the field in a lot of different third downs. They weren't even getting to third downs. I mean, they were getting first downs on first down and second down, and we could not get off the field as a defense. And like I said, I'm not blaming the defense. I don't want to go there because the offense absolutely had enough opportunities to win that football game. But at the end of the day, time of possession is important, and it's going to go, that's very important for this game too. Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will play a possession game to keep Josh Allen and the offense off the field, to make sure that their opportunities are limited. And we have to take advantage as a defense of getting off the field on third downs, on some tough fourth down decisions. That's the biggest thing. So to answer Space Bish's question, I don't think we need to score 30 plus, but it would certainly help. Yep, Justin says to stop the run. I hope we don't get run over again. I think this is the week we find out what Dane Jackson is made of, because I feel like Brady will exploit him. Yeah, if there's a quarterback that's going to exploit our secondary, it's going to be Tom Brady. I think we could all agree on that. If there's a quarterback that will know what matchups to hit, I mean, especially against this receiving corps, I mean, it's going to be Mike Evans, probably. I doubt anybody's going to be shading anybody, but I mean, the matchups are going to be looking like Levi Wallace, probably around guys like Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, Dane Jackson, hovering around guys like more so Tyler Johnson, maybe playing on guys like, what's his name? Scotty Miller. I don't think Scotty Miller's healthy, but, Levi Wallace is going to have a lot on his plate in this game. And although he might not be shadowing their top guys, he's still going to have a lot on his plate. And, I guess you're right. That's a perfect example. Yeah, Lucas, at least it'd be his outreach. Yeah, I mean, that would be an absolute nightmare. Brady, all of his life, has had a great O-line, and Josh Allen had that he would look like an MVP every year. Josh Allen, I mean, I still don't even think Josh Allen has looked bad this year. I mean, I know that's not what you're saying, Justin, but like even with the offensive line issues and, the struggle that the Bills offense has had this year, I think it's easily I think it's easy to say that Josh Allen has done a lot of what he could. I mean, especially in that Patriots game. I thought that Patriots game was the best game that Josh Allen played all year. Like, that sounds a little bit ludicrous. But truthfully, Josh Allen was putting the ball in impossible conditions where it needed to be for his receivers, for his playmakers to make a catch. And he just was not getting catches when he needed catches. I mean, Josh Allen was doing everything he could. He was evading pressure, throwing it to win, putting it on the money, and he just could not get anybody to make a play for him. Justin says, once we get a run game, it will free receivers up. I mean, whenever that happens, I mean, they said after last year we were going to have a more effective run game, and here we are. It's nothing. Our run game at this point, it's got to be Josh Allen. And for some reason last week, Brian Daboll just completely forgot about every single Josh Allen run play that he had in his playbook. I don't know what happened. Why was that the case last week? Why in God's name did we abandon our best runner, our best ability to move the ball on the ground in a game where we had to move the ball on the ground? It didn't make any sense. So my point is that, even though our run game is brutal, we need to use our run game the way it's most effective, and that's with Josh Allen. Almost like in a Lamar Jackson kind of situation with QB power, the line's moving with him. It's like a whole unit or a QB draw, QB sweep, whatever it might be. Josh Allen, unfortunately, is our run game, and we need to use him that way. And for some reason, we got completely away from that last week. This week, it's going to be a little bit tougher to do that because this defensive front of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is going to be fierce. I mean, this is going to be the best defensive front I think we go up against all damn season, and it's not even close. Ryan, what's up, brother? If Allen runs more last week, they would have won, no doubt. Absolutely. I mean, we would have found the end zone so much more often if Josh Allen had more run plays dialed up for him. And I read something that said that Josh Allen was actually the one more so making the decisions whether or not to run, because obviously they've been running a lot of RPO in their offense, and Josh Allen's the one pulling the ball out and passing it still instead of just tucking and going. And if that's the case, for whatever reason, Josh Allen feels more comfortable throwing, that's fine. But that doesn't mean as an offensive coordinator, you continue to call RPO so Josh Allen can keep dropping back to pass. I mean, even though it was working to some extent, you need Josh Allen to understand that he needs to be carrying the football because we were not moving the ball through the air as well as we could have been. Justin says, I just don't understand why Moss and Singletary are getting more touches when they aren't producing. I like Breida, even though he fumbled last game. But try Antonio Williams, at least see what he can do. I don't understand. This offense, for some reason, has a very hard time giving guys opportunities that aren't named Singletary and Breida, or Singletary and Moss. I'm sorry. It just, if your name is not Singletary, Devin Singletary or Zach Moss, you will probably not get many opportunities to show what you can do. And even if you do, and you're successful showing what you can do, you probably won't get another opportunity to establish yourself in this game. Ryan said, that's how y'all beat the Colts in the playoffs. Yep. Exactly, Ryan. His legs are torturous. I mean, it's so difficult to stop an offense when the quarterback is so mobile the way Josh Allen is, especially when he can beat you with his arm the way he can. And for some reason, like I said, we get away from it in times when we shouldn't. I think if we were going to run successfully, that we will need outside runs. I think, absolutely. I mean, we run between our guards, and our guards are our worst offensive linemen. And for some reason, we continuously run power, dive, wham, up the middle with guards that can't pass block or run block. I'm no run scheme genius. I'm no offensive line guru. I'm no offensive guru by any means. It's just common sense is a powerful tool that I feel like some people lack in this world. And Brian Daboll has shown to lack some common sense this year. I agree, Space. Run blocking really isn't a part of the issue. I think our running backs certainly could be better, but I've always been one to say that the run blocking has been the issue 100% more than the running backs, because the running backs can only do so much. You can only run so far, as your hole allows. I mean, even if, you have to break a couple tackles to get downfield, our running backs sometimes will do that, sometimes they won't. But we don't have the type of running backs to be getting contacted at the line of scrimmage to break 3 tackles to have to gain 4 yards. We have running backs that will need a little bit extra help getting a push up front so they could gain 4, 5, 6 yards every handoff. They're not going to break 5 tackles at the line of scrimmage like a Najee Harris, Derrick Henry, or, an Alvin Kamara or Dalvin Cook. They're not going to do that. That's why we need that extra push. And there's nothing wrong with our running backs not being able to do that. It's just the fact that we get no push, and every single time they get a handoff, 99.9% of the time, they're getting contacted nearly at the line of scrimmage. I agree. Try more halfback tosses or stretch. Yep. 3rd and 1 is terrifying, or 4th and short. Yeah. 3rd and 1 and 4th and short are terrifying for our offense for multiple reasons. One reason is because we don't know what play call we're going to run. Let's start at the top. 4th and short specifically is scary because we don't know if we'll actually do the right thing in terms of actually going for it or not. That's scary for us. So we've been horrible with decision-making on 4th down this year. So that's an issue. But then if we do decide to go for it, it's the play call that scares me. What the hell are we going to play call? Because Brian Dable has been so inconsistent on 4th down this year. We don't know what play call is going to come to fruition from a 4th and short situation. And then that can be disastrous. And then the execution can also be disastrous. If it is the right play call, if we actually decide to go for it in the right situation, if then we actually do pick the right play call, it's the execution that's terrifying. 4th and short, 3rd and 1, 4th and short, those really are the most terrifying down and distances for this football team because the layering of decision-making and execution is just too many for us to do. It just is. Let's go Buffalo. Hey, Pokemon, what's going on, bro? Weren't we the best 3rd down team last year? We were the best. We were the best offense in nearly every category last year. We were the best offense when it came to, literally anything. Anything. Our offense was one of the best in the NFL. Not only statistically, but, on the field. I think this year we do have some statistics favoring our offense, but it doesn't mean that our offense has actually been good. So I don't think the stat sheet tells the whole story. But nevertheless, we were the best offense in terms of when to go for it on 4th down. Making the right decisions in those situations. The play calls were always good. You always felt confident. It didn't matter if it was like 3rd and 15, 4th and 15. We knew that we had a solid chance to get the 1st down. That is not always the case with the Bills this year. The thing I don't like about Moss, he's supposed to be a power back, but since he's like my size or maybe smaller, it's easy to tackle him. Yeah, I like Moss. I think he's a good dude, but he doesn't fit this offense, man. And what he's built for, what Zach Moss is built for, he's built for power running. He's built for, inside runs, contact inside the tackles. And, for a guy like him who really doesn't break that many tackles like he probably should be, he's not running through people to the extent you'd expect him to be. But unfortunately, we're not even a good team inside the tackles anyway. So Zach Moss is getting hit early. He is not finding holes as well as you'd like him to. And he's struggled and he does not fit here. I think that's been pretty obvious. But, anyway, we ran him 8 times last week and he gained about 20 yards, 26 yards last week, and we still ran him. Pokemon says the Bills run game just needs to open up passing. Yeah. I think both ways. I think the run game opens up the passing game. I think everybody can agree on that. But I also think to some extent the passing game can open up the run game. But it just depends how you run the ball, right? The passing game opens up the run game. But if you're still running your traditional Zach Moss up the middle in between the guards, it's still not going to gain any yards because we're just not good at that. If Josh Allen is dropping back to pass, hitting Emmanuel Sanders for 16 yards downfield, and then the very next play he's out in the same formation, except this play he's running a quarterback sweep or he's running a quarterback draw, he's going to gain yards that way. It just depends on the play calling. The real Dawson Knox showed up last game. The Dawson Knox that we saw last game was the Dawson Knox that I was horrified that we would see all season. And thankfully, it's only been one game that we've seen him like that. But that was, he killed 3 drives with 2 drops, and then he killed a drive. Well, he made a drive more difficult with a false start penalty and a humongous spot right outside the end zone. He had a tough game. Hopefully, he can bounce back this week. And we're going to need him. We are going to need him big time here. Let's see. Hillard or Hubbard? I would go Hillard, probably. I don't trust the Carolina Panthers offense to be consistent. Hubbard may very well come out and play better than Hillard at the end of the day, Ian, but I would rather go with Hillard just because I feel safer with Hillard. Chuba Hubbard, he's very dependent on how the Carolina Panthers offense is and how Cam Newton's going to play. And we don't know how that's going to go. And if they start losing, then the game script starts going against Chuba Hubbard. It's going to be a long day for him. I think Hillard will constantly be in the game. He'll be rotating in and out with Foreman. And they're playing against Jacksonville. So they're going to be pounding the rock, just like the Rams did to him last week. So I would go with Hillard. Imagine getting paid a ton of money just to drop catches consecutively. I know. You guys are being harsh on my man Dawson Knox. I would be just as harsh if I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, I guess is what I'm just trying to say. Ryan says, the Pats are so annoying, beating team that they should lose to for years now. That's why Bill B is one of the best coaches ever. As a Colts fan, I have experienced this way too much. I mean, as Bills fans, we've experienced this way too much too. Oh man. I mean, Bill Belichick, I've always been somebody that thought it was Bill Belichick more so than Tom Brady. And I don't think that sentiment could be echoed enough, especially at this point in time. Bill Belichick has formed a rebuild in a matter of a year and put a rookie quarterback that is good. He's been, NFL ready, but Mac Jones anywhere else is not the Mac Jones we know right now. Bill Belichick is just very good at knowing where he can put players so they can be the most successful. He sets his players up for success no matter who they are. And that's why Mac Jones is performing as well as he's performing right now, because Bill Belichick knows how to set his players up. I mean, that's the important part about Bill Belichick. That's what makes Mac Jones look as good as he's looking. That's why guys like Kendrick Bourne, Jacoby Myers, guys like Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, these guys are getting paid. They got paid so much money this offseason Jacoby Myers got drafted there, but just to pretty much do the bare minimum, and that's their job. But Bill Belichick pays them, puts them in positions to be successful, even though it might seem like an overpay because they've never been the most productive players ever. And they outperform what we know them to be because Bill Belichick knows how to put players in positions to win. There was a mini parade that came down my street with people playing drums and the shout song playing. That's pretty awesome, Lucas. That's awesome. Hopefully it's not all for naught, if that makes sense. Hopefully it's freaking worth it. Hopefully we come out and actually show that we're a competitive football team. We haven't even been competitive. I mean, we've been in games, but we have not shown that same fight we're used to seeing. Laviska Shenault. I always think it's Laviska Shenault. Shaquille Griffin after the Jaguars game when they beat us. I think you guys probably saw it. He's talking after the game like, that Bills sideline was pretty dead. We were making plays and we were getting a hype, but like whenever they made plays, they were kind of dead. Like they had no energy. And that's not something you ever thought you'd hear from a Bills sideline. That was concerning. And I think, that's just one of many things that has gone into this season and what's happened so far. The locker room must be different. There's got to be something going on. Dome or no dome? I am dome only because, you paid Josh Allen $258 million. So, of course, if he plays better in a dome, then fine, you build it. But I think a lot of fans have fallen on this as a crutch as to why the Bills offense isn't performing as good as they should be. When in reality, the dome doesn't fix the issues that we have on this football team. It doesn't. I mean, it makes them slightly less worse, makes them slightly better, but that doesn't mean the dome fixes everything. The dome does not fix. I truthfully think the Patriots, we still might win the game against the Patriots if that game exactly goes the way it went inside. We would beat them, but it would still be a close game. If the Patriots came out against us in a dome and ran the ball every single play the way they did against us last week, I still think they give us hell. I still think we have a very hard time winning because for some reason we just couldn't. I mean, the defense had both defenses in that game had the advantage. Both the defenses had that advantage in there, and we still couldn't stop the run. We still couldn't get off the field when we had to. I mean, who's to say we don't? Who's to say we win that game if it's actually indoors? Tyler Bass might make a couple extra field goals, but so does Nick Folk. Like the dome does not fix everything here. That's all. That's how I feel about it. Brady is great. Bill is great. Put them together, 6 rings. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I agree. It frustrates me because for the longest time, the Bills have always had a good running game. Yeah, I know. It's so bizarre. I mean, the Bills have been known to be a strong running team that can play in the elements, that could, pound the ball down your throat. And, any game script that put us behind the sticks, any game script that put us down was always detrimental to the Bills because all we could do is run. And, obviously when it gets later in the game, you're down by a touchdown or 10 points and you're trying to run the ball. I mean, it might be working, but you're running out your own clock. I mean, now we're in an era with Josh Allen in this offense where all of a sudden our run game is the worst part. And it's very un-Bills-like. It's funny you say that because it's not funny you say that. It's very accurate you say that because we really always have been an extremely good running team. And ever since we got Josh Allen, it's just declined year after year after year. I get we got away from the run game, but it doesn't mean it had to decline the way it has. Oh, boy. I think some because I think there's only been – I think Dome because I think there's only been one good weather home game this year, and it was against a football team. Yeah, I agree. I do think Dome as well, like I said. I just think it doesn't solve all of our issues. That's pretty much where I stand on it. Cole, what's up, bro? I think we could pull off the upset. I do too. Any given Sunday, any team can win. That's the truth of it. We lost to the Jazz. Any given week, any team can win. It's just more so about what team comes out to play for the Bills. And, we don't know at this point. Last year, we knew that every week the offense was going to put up X amount of points and give us a very solid chance to win. This year, it's a very different story. And, any given Sunday can only be echoed so many times. Ryan West, issue with the Dome is when you make the playoffs. This is what makes you the run game is so – we are getting into an era of football where the run game, it's becoming less and less relevant, at least so we thought. We saw, the Patrick Mahomes air raid offense for the first couple of years absolutely dominate. Not that it hasn't been dominating still, but we saw Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs kind of start to revolutionize what an offense looks like. And the Buffalo Bills came along and we followed in their steps last year. And, other teams like the Los Angeles Chargers, I think they're falling in that line of direction as well. But it still doesn't matter because at the end of the day, you need that run game. The run game is the root of football. It's the root of offense. It's what makes offenses that might struggle more successful. I think the Indianapolis Colts have a very, very good offense, but obviously it's because of the run game and Jonathan Taylor. Carson Wentz, if was put in a position where he had to throw consistently, their offense significantly worsens. And that's not a knock on Carson Wentz or anything like that. I guess it is a knock on Carson Wentz, but Jonathan Taylor in that run game makes the Colts offense churn and helps Carson Wentz so much more, and it makes Carson Wentz better than he might be at this point in his career, especially with damn near 2 broken feet. But when, your passing game can't really benefit the run game as much as the run game can benefit the pass game. Technically, if we win the rest of the games, we can win out and take this division back. Alex, bro, what's going on? If you have a question, shoot. Technically, if we win the rest of the games, 100%. We still have a chance. It's just a matter of, can we turn it around? I don't know. I used to be confident that we could turn it around. Then we lost to the Jags. I was like, what's that about? Then we lost to the Colts the way we did. And then we're like, what was that about? And then the Patriots. Alex says, why do the Packers and the Bears hate each other? I think it's just a long tenured rivalry. These two teams, the Bears and the Packers have been in the NFL for, I think, ever since it started, back when it was just the American Football League. They've been two of the core teams in the NFL for so long in this organization, and they've just always had a rivalry going back and forth. And they've always been in the same division, like Justin said, always playing against each other. Justin says division rivals for obviously that's what I just read. The Bills truly need to win this game today. If not, they have to focus on the draft. I don't think that's the case yet. I think if we lose this game and then lose next week, then yes. If we lose this game, I think we're still okay. It just depends on how we lose. I think how we lose today is important. How we lose. How this game goes is important. If we win, that's amazing. It doesn't matter how we win. If we lose, it matters how we lose. If we lose because we go out and lay a fat egg, then we have a lot of concern. If we lose in a very tight matchup, we give them hell, and Tom Brady just gets that final drive, gets the best of us, just like he has to so many teams over the years, then so be it. This game is big. It's big for many different reasons. I'm not hell-bent on the fact that we have to come out on top. But still. Bruce Stark, 12-team, full PPR, choose 3. A.J. Dillon, Cole Beasley, Godwin, I don't know how to say that. Michael Gallup, Dante Foreman, Rashad Bateman. No problem, Bruce. I would personally go with A.J. Dillon, Chris Godwin, and probably, oh boy, Cole Beasley. I don't know. I like Cole Beasley. Of course, I'm a big Cole Beasley fan. Michael Gallup, I like, but I think he's too dependent on targets, and he doesn't get enough. Like, too dependent on touchdowns. Sort of touchdown dependent was the word I'm looking for. Michael Gallup at this point with the receivers and CD Lamb and Amari Cooper taking too many targets. I'm staying away from him. I would go with A.J. Dillon, Chris Godwin, and Deonta Foreman. Bruce, that's who I would go with. Lucas, the Bucs secondary isn't best. There should be no. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be about the pass rush and the offensive line holding up. If Josh Allen gets time, he will dice up this Buccaneers secondary. If he doesn't, that's another story. Redraft full PPR. Deontay Hillard versus Amir Abdullah. Ooh, 1 point per 10 return yards. Ooh, I would go. Oh my gosh. I would go with Hillard still. I like Hillard. Oh boy, I don't know. Amir Abdullah has been getting a lot of time, Trey. Trey, my question to you is this a must-win game for you? Where are you in the standings? You know, is this a must-win? Like, you need a miracle to win this game? Like, give me your situation, Trey, and I can answer that question a little bit easier. Justin says, does Saquon still have some trade worth? I guess it depends who you're trading with. If you're trading with a top team that thinks that he might have a nice little run in the playoffs and you might be able to find some worth in him, I would try to pawn off Saquon. He's only going to get value in the receiving game. And if you're not playing in points per reception, then he's pretty much basically useless. But I think he's got some trade value for sure. He's got name value. It's Saquon Barkley at the end of the day, right? People will bite on the name Saquon Barkley to some extent. Nomadic says PPR flex, Darnell Mooney, Jarvis Landry, or Kareem Hunt. Who do the Bears play? I would go with Mooney. I think I'd go with Mooney. I don't think Jarvis Landry is going to have another big game like he did last week. Kareem Hunt is obviously splitting a backfield, and he's going against that extremely tough Baltimore Ravens front 5, front 4. So I wouldn't go with Hunt either. So I'd go Mooney, Nomadic. Wayne says, I hope Josh Allen runs his own game because it's Josh Allen's dream to beat Tom. I hope Josh Allen beats Tom Brady. I hope the Bills to beat Tom Brady. I mean, we need it. Trey says, I'm number 2, not a must win. Okay, so I would try out Amir Abdullah, Trey. I would, just for the fun of it. If it's not a must win game, Amir Abdullah, I view Amir Abdullah right now as he's going to do absolutely nothing, or he's going to have a very, very, very shocking, solid showing. That's the way I think it's either boom or bust with Amir Abdullah at this point. With Hillard, it's a safe. You're going to get a safe probably 5 or 6 points, I think, with Hillard. Like basic 5 or 6 points plus with Hillard. I think that's the floor for him. Hey, what's up, Gerp? So yeah, Trey, I would go with Amir Abdullah just to see what's up. Ayuk or Jeff Wilson? 49ers play against the Bengals. Salty is so Michael Hasty's healthy, right? I would go with probably Ayuk. I would go with Ayuk, Salty. I think he's the safer play. Because I think if it's not Elijah Mitchell, then also Salty, is Deebo Samuel playing? That's also a very important fact. If Deebo Samuel's playing, he's probably going to be more so of a running back than a receiver. Therefore, I would absolutely go with Ayuk because Deebo Samuel, for some reason, is the running back. So I think you're saying yes to Deebo playing. Okay, so if Deebo's playing 100%, go with Ayuk because he's going to take touches away from Jeff Wilson and JaMychal Hasty in the backfield, especially against a weaker front 4. I keep saying front 4 for the Bengals. So I would go with Ayuk. I really need Cooks to play today. This is a must-win game for me. I think you're talking about Brandon Cooks, right? Obviously. I didn't even know he was questionable. Lucas, man, you're relying on Davis Mills to Brandon Cooks connection. You're in some trouble, brother. You're better off. Is Jalen Guyton on the waiver wire still? I would go with like a Jalen Guyton or something over Cooks, man. That's scary. Scary. Brandon Cooks is scary. What is Gerb saying? I remember like 400. Yeah, I know, right, Gerb? It's kind of a long way. We got a long way to go. I don't think I have any other fantasy dilemmas personally. I think Debo not playing. Debo is playing, I think you said. I want to check that out. Shoot, it's 12:45 already. Wow. I didn't even realize it got so late. So guys, if you have any other last minute questions, I'm probably gonna wrap this up around 12:50. This is going pretty well. I love when you guys drop some oh yeah, Debo is playing. I like when you guys drop some questions. Kim, happy Sunday. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate it. Happy Sunday is right. Big football day. I'm very, 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 very excited. I have a lot of things going on. Bill's playing. I got my fantasy games. This is an every week occurrence for me. But Sunday is a big day for a lot of people, and I'm included in that a lot of people category. I have a couple. I don't know if you guys know what Prize Picks is. I do like a over under for different projections for different players. This week I have Ezekiel Elliott under 56.5 rushing yards. Somebody tell me if that's good or not. I think that's good. Tony Pollard is out, but I don't think Zeke is going to do very well on he's damn near playing on like a broken knee against the Washington football team run defense, which is pretty damn solid. So I got Zeke under 56.5 rushing yards, and I have Brett Maher over 7.5 fantasy score. So how kickers are usually scored in fantasy football, he gets scored here. So if he goes over 7.5, I win that. I think that's a solid line. Ronald, what's going on, brother? Nice to see you in here. Nice to see everybody following in. I appreciate you guys hopping in. Caveman, say if the Bills do beat Tampa in the Carolina game, to be determined, do you think it will mess up games if it's played on set? If you mean mess up the Bills, no. I don't think it matters when we play, who we play in front of, where we play. But if you have a different question in mind, let me know. But yeah, so I have Brett Maher and Ezekiel Elliott both Brett Maher over 7.5 fantasy score, and Ezekiel Elliott under 56.5 rushing yards. This next one, I have Rashad Bateman over 2 receptions. 2 receptions for Rashad Bateman. Is that hard? Come on, Lamar. And Javonte Williams over 67.5 rushing yards. I think that's a lock. Javonte Williams just absolutely tore apart the Chiefs. Even though they lost, he just kept getting the ball. I just hope to God that Vic Fangio doesn't think that Melvin Gordon deserves touches after a showing like that for Javonte Williams. I think Melvin Gordon did. So that's my only concern. If this is Javonte Williams' backfield, he will absolutely tear apart this Detroit Lions run defense. And then I have Austin Eckler over 53.5 rushing yards against the Giants, and Taysom Hill over 51.5 rushing yards against the New York Jets. So I feel confident in all of those. And I got some big fantasy games. I don't think I need anything else. That's what I was also going to check if I have any last-second fantasy switches I need to make. My opponent is Deebo Samuel, so I'm kind of hoping that he plays, but like he's on a snap count because he really isn't healthy. And this is a must-win game for the 49ers. So yeah, I guess I get it. I get why he's playing here. But hopefully, maybe he'll be on a snap count. Any questions, guys, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I'm fading Bateman and Hill. Screw you, Alex. Yeah, you go ahead. You go ahead and fade Taysom Hill. You go ahead and fade the running monster of Taysom Hill. I'm hoping Diggs gets more involved in the game today because the Bills have to air the ball out. I agree. I hope to God we have Diggs more involved. He has not been involved enough. There hasn't been enough of a chemistry with the quarterback and the wide receiver. Diggs needs to have more of an impact this time around. He needs to be the focal point of this offense, and that has been a big issue for this team. In their offensive struggles, he has not been the focal point, and that needs to change. Yeah, I think I'm all set. I think I have all my fantasy matchups figured out. Perfect. Oh boy, 11 people, guys. I appreciate you guys stopping in. I probably will wrap this up in a minute now. Get ready to go downstairs, watch the football games. Got a lot on the line here. Go Bills, right? I mean, if you guys have any thoughts, please leave them down in the comments. If you guys have anything you want to ask me, go on a previous video. Go on this recording. I think it posts a recording back of the live stream. If you have any questions, leave them down there. Emmanuel Sanders, I think, also needs to be targeted a little bit more, obviously. Yeah, I mean, Emmanuel Sanders was almost more of an option than Diggs was earlier on in the season, and all of a sudden he's just kind of been faded away. I don't know what's up with that, but I agree. Emmanuel Sanders also needs to be involved more. Kim says, my gut says to keep an eye on Sanders today. I think he'll be playing for I like that, Kim. I like that a lot, Kim. You know, you're right. I like that. I think you're right. This will be a big Emmanuel Sanders day. I'm hopping on the Kim bandwagon with that one. I agree. Go Bills. Guys, any questions, leave it on the recording of this video. I'm going to go get ready for the games. I hope you enjoy your Sunday. It's going to be a freaking fantastic day. Mott's applesauce. You guys know how it goes with me. I'm going to try and do this every week because why not? So expect a live stream next week before the games on Sunday, probably at about 11:30, 11:45, maybe noon. Probably between 11:30 and noon, expect me to start a live stream before the games. I wish I would have started doing this sooner in the season, but it is what it is. I'll see you guys soon. I love you guys. Thank you for stopping in. Peace out.